guys? Welcome back to the Marking Out Podcast. It's your boy Cordell, aka Smoke, and I'm kicking the show off today for the first time, and I think that I'm gonna start doing this more often because, man, your boy is lit and looking handsome on camera. Like, come on.
It's our new light.
Are y'all not seeing this? Like, for the ones who ain't seen this, look at your boy. Oh, and I got two other co-stars here with me too. What's your names?
Yeah, hey, this is Dean Walker, the Reaps to your Reaper.
Okay, Neal. Who else we got here?
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
We got Neal Pretty Boy Thomas here. As always, me, the shining star of the Marking Out Network podcast.
Oh,
the oldest star.
The what?
Huh?
What'd you say?
Nothing. Let's get on going with the show.
Yeah,
I said the coolest star.
The show's right now. We are getting on with the show right now.
Flames almost burn out.
I said the coolest star. Yeah. You guys want to care to explain why we're doing this over Zoom today?
No. WWE World Heavyweight Championship. AJ Styles versus Seth freaking Rollins at Night of Champions. But we're going to get up to that point. What do you guys think about this whole title picture? What do you think about everything that's going on right at this moment? And we're going to talk about the details, the intricacies, the nuances of the title picture. But what do you guys think about the overall perception of it right now?
I think it's okay.
Just okay?
No,
I'll let you finish.
I like that Rollins is making his way up. Do you think he's actually gonna grab it though, or do you think they're gonna grab it from him again before he can? I said grab too much.
Just say your fucking point.
That's my fault. Look, that's it.
I'm actually interested in it. I think that that they needed to bring something in to kind of freshen up WWE. WWE has been very stale as of late, and I think, and as much as I hate to say this, as much as I really hate to say this, Roman is the cause of it. Roman and this, bloodline storyline and him continuing to be champ, it's making the platform very stale, and I think that they needed to do a tournament like this and introduce a new belt like this to keep things going. But so far I've been liking it. I don't care for the belt design, but so far I've been liking it.
Don't you guys find it a bit of a problem that the SmackDown stars were actually going for a Raw title?
Yeah. That actually brings me back to...
Can we you can't gloss over that fact.
You're not letting me speak my fact.
You can't gloss over it. I'm just saying, you can't gloss over it. Are you glossing over it? Is a Dean, are you glossing over that fact?
I hate it.
Why do you hate it?
It makes no sense because Triple H, right? He was like, look at this brand new championship, this beautiful championship belt, Neal. Beautiful belt.
Why are you leaning over?
It's where the microphone is. I'm not trying to get close, right?
Okay.
Look, I mean, if you want to get close.
No, you're just really over here in my space.
But anywho, so no, he was like, look at this brand new belt, right? And then he was like, we need something on Raw. We need a champion on Raw. We need a working man's belt, right? And then he was like, all right, SmackDown, go ahead and fight for it. How the fuck does that make any sense whatsoever? I don't get it. I'm thinking, I think obviously Rollins is going to beat AJ, right?
Yeah.
Are we all on the same page about that?
Mm-hmm.
I can agree.
So hopefully that's the case, because if AJ wins, I mean, just imagine you have Roman Reigns, both championships on SmackDown, and then the World Championship also on SmackDown with AJ. What the fuck?
No, AJ. So everybody was saying, so the whole draft has been rendered pointless, right? Because
this is what I was saying last time.
We already had SmackDown competitors, SmackDown drafted superstars compete for a Raw exclusive World Heavyweight Championship. Is that not a fact? That's a fact. Now, if AJ Styles somehow ends up winning this, not only do you have a drafted SmackDown star going to, apparently he would get traded. He would go to Monday Night Raw. Is that what we're going to do here? So he would be a SmackDown drafted star going to Monday Night Raw and then rendering the draft useless, because now not only does that belt situation is completely absurd, SmackDown has their champion on Monday Night Raw and Rhea Ripley, and then you have Bianca Belair, the Raw Women's Champ, on SmackDown. So this whole World Championships is getting convoluted and it's really fucking confusing. But going back to the World Heavyweight Championship, the draft has been rendered pointless. Now, hopefully Seth Rollins can win this and then just completely be done with all this bullshit, because then it's going to be way too confusing. But I just don't understand why having SmackDown superstars compete for a Raw title when Triple H said himself it was Raw exclusive. Now, why don't they have a tournament to crown a #1 contendership for Roman Reigns on SmackDown? How come they haven't done that yet? They put Roman Reigns in a tag on SmackDown tonight against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Do you really want to see Roman Reigns collect another fucking belt, the tag team titles now? I don't.
No, and
I don't.
And I don't want to see Sami Zayn. I don't want to see Sami Zayn in the picture anymore either. I'm kind of over that.
Why do you say that?
Because I'm just over it.
You just over Sami Zayn and KO?
Yeah, with Sami Zayn, I'm over Sami Zayn and KO mixed with Roman. I'm over it. I want to see something new. As you told me out your own mouth, we are past that stage of Sami Zayn doing anything else with the bloodline. He did what he needed to do with the Usos. Great. You had your WrestleMania moment. Perfect. But that's it. It's gone. It's done. It's a wrap. I don't want to see anything else with that, in my opinion. I'm ready to see something new.
I don't want to see that either, but I think what Roman did in his promo tonight with the Usos, he basically said, you guys couldn't get the job done. You couldn't stay champions. And so I'm going to have to clean up your mess. Yeah. I'm going to have to come in. I'm going to be the tribal chief. I'm going to be the leader, and I'm going to do what you guys couldn't do. And I think that's what he was trying to get at. He's establishing himself as the alpha male, as the dominant one. That's exactly what he's doing without a doubt. And if you notice, Solo the entire time in the promo on SmackDown didn't say a word. He barely was even looking over at Roman and the Usos the entire time. And so Roman
never say none.
He never says nothing. Solo is the new right-hand man of Roman Reigns.
I find that very odd though too, because Solo, I'm a personal things aside of the person and then the character. I'm not a fan of the character of Solo. I've never have been. I don't feel like he has a body of work yet to be anybody's right-hand man. I'm like, he hasn't done anything, in my opinion. How can your right-hand man be your right-hand man and he ain't won no titles?
He's the street champ.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, that's what his tights say.
That's what
he's the street champ. I understand.
Well,
we talked. I understand.
Unfortunately, that's not on his resume as a fighting champion.
We talked about this before, that Solo Sikoa was the street champ and he was trying to build up his resume in NXT.
That's cute, but he's not a champ.
He never got to that point because they called him up really fucking quick.
Great, but you can't be anybody's right-hand man and then you're standing in a ring full of champions and you're not even one of them. Who can you can't say shit to me.
So I mean, did you like Umaga?
I liked Umaga. I thought Umaga got stale after a while. No disrespect, Lord rest his soul, but I thought he got stale after a while. Yeah. I thought he became more gimmicky. Like when you wanted someone big to come to the ring and do some damage, you just called Umaga. And Rikishi didn't have that for me. Rikishi was actually kind of more entertaining because he spoke more and he was kind of funny. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Would you like Solo if he had someone to talk for him, kind of like how Umaga had?
No, Solo can talk.
What was it? Armando Estrada, right?
Yep. Solo can talk. Solo can talk just fine.
Yeah.
Solo needs to talk. Solo can talk.
And the reason Umaga didn't talk is because he was supposed to be like this
a wild beast from I don't think that's Solo's gimmick though.
I think Solo's not going to say much, but when he does speak, it's like you're going to listen, you know?
Yeah.
Because guys who say few words.
I mean, see Solo as world champion.
Not right now. I can too. Not right now. I think once he get the bare feet thing out the way.
That's never going to happen. That's not going to happen.
And once he gets that going and stuff like that, he has to come into his own.
I think he's going to stay the way he is. I don't think there's going to be any improvement. The only improvement I can see is probably going to be him when it comes to his character work. But his in-ring work is going to stay the same. He's not going to change.
I'm talking about his character.
Yeah, his character work is going to eventually evolve maybe a little bit more, and he's going to talk more. Shit, man. Guys who didn't talk much, Orange Cassidy in AEW, he didn't talk much, but he eventually was spitting out more lines and lines. He says very minimal, but what he does talk is very funny. He's a funny character. But Solo Sikoa, he's all business. He's 100% serious.
Yeah.
Now I want to ask you guys this too. Now Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa are going to go after the undisputed tag team titles of the world at Night of Champions. Roman Reigns is like, Usos, you had your shot. You had it twice and you failed. Me and Solo, my new boy, my new right-hand man, we're going to go down. We're going to go to Night of Champions. We're going to go to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and we're going to take those undisputed tag team titles of the world. Now, it rubs Jimmy and Jay the wrong way. They're like, what the fuck, Roman? I thought you're going to give us a title shot, even though I don't know how Roman can make matches. Obviously, Adam Pearce, let's make it official. He's cool with that decision. Do you guys actually see Roman and Solo winning the undisputed tag team titles, or you think it's more of a distraction, or this is like not the main storyline kind of shit, but it's more of like the side mission kind of stuff, and this is going to be more of develop a rift between Roman and Solo and Jimmy and Jay? What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely like a distraction. I think it's going to carry some sort of story. It could be what you said. It could be some sort of like problem they may have, cause some sort of tension. Whether I don't think a whole breakup, but at least some tension. They're definitely not going to win the titles. It's too much. If they did, I think it would almost be laughable at that point to have that many belts on Roman, man. Like it'd just be a joke. Yeah, I'm thinking that you're probably right. Just a little tension.
Okay. Smoke, what say you, brother?
I can see it. I don't want to see it, but I can see it. I can see WWE pulling that shit out their ass to make him a champion like that with Solo. And then that could put, shoe in my mouth when I just said Solo has no championships, no body of work. They might easily do that and make him a champion, because he's not ready to have a solo title yet. They might just pull some shit like that and just to make us even more mad and have him as a tag team champ with Solo. And then that would also in turn make the Usos mad and make them feel some kind of way. And that would honestly, that would cause more friction, more harm than good, to be honest with you.
Without a doubt.
On all counts, meaning fans, backroom talent. And storyline wise, the Usos could be really upset. And if that's the case, I'd be here for it because I like a little controversy.
Mm-hmm. Because Sami Zayn was saying the whole time, oh, there's a rift, there's a crack in the bloodline. He's been saying it for 6 months, and we haven't seen it yet.
If the crack ain't spread in 6 months, it ain't no crack.
There's a crack in the bloodline, guys. We say that back in like January.
Grow up. If the crack ain't spread in 6 months, it ain't no crack.
You said it like 4 times. You're gonna change any word.
You guys ever seen that movie Mean Girls where he's like, say crack again? She said crack.
Guys. But going back to what it was saying, Smoke, cracks in the bloodline. It hasn't happened yet. Roman and Solo, I don't think they're gonna win the tag team titles at Night of Champions. Does it make for interesting storyline if they do? Of course it does. Because it throws that shit right in Jimmy and Jay's face. You'll be like, here, motherfuckers, you couldn't win the tag titles back. I had to come in and swoop in and win another fucking belt. And
which is funny because that's how he retained his.
Yeah, and it's funny. The whole ironic part of all this, who keeps these belts on Roman? It's Solo and Jimmy and Jay. After all this, if you think about it, during the promo, Roman's running Jimmy and Jay down. He's like, you guys are losers. You ain't got no championships anymore. I'm going to be the tribal chief. I'm going to be the head of the table. I'm going to be the man and show you how it's done. And then the ironic
frenzy and been like, well, how did you keep yours?
Exactly. Jimmy and Jay, they didn't call him out on it. They'd been like, the reason Paul Heyman is carrying those titles is because of us, dude. If it wasn't for us, you'd have lost those motherfuckers like 8 times by now. So what are you talking about? Like, you're the reason, you're the tribal chief. You're only the tribal chief because we make you the tribal chief.
Mm-hmm.
If Roman didn't have his little boys around him, he wouldn't be shit. He would have lost this 1,000-day reign wouldn't exist. This potential 1,400-day reign, God, I'm praying to God it doesn't happen. But up till next September, if Roman goes solo, no pun intended, if Roman goes solo and he disenfranchises Jimmy and Jay, all of them, he's not going to get to a 1,400 days. He's going to be completely gone.
Yeah.
He's going to be done. And he can't do that with anybody. The only guy that's going to stick around is Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman's not going to help him win matches. So,
well, I mean, you know what they say, man. Like Roman Reigns, he's the head of the table, right? But he can't be the head of the table if there's no table. You know, and the Usos, man, they're going to steal the legs.
Wait.
They're going
Are
to
the
steal his
Usos
chair.
the table?
No, they're the legs. They're part of the legs to hold the table up.
So
you know what I'm saying?
Roman is the head of the table.
They help polish the table.
There was a point there. There was a point there that he just didn't quite hit. But
and then Solo could be the chair. They all make up the table. He's the head of it, but they're all.
Oh no! You know Paul Heyman. You know what Paul Heyman is?
Oh,
you know those little like sliders that you put on the table, so they don't so when you move the table,
exactly,
you slide it.
Yeah.
That's what Paul Heyman is. Smoke. You know what I'm talking about? Those little
the little
black,
circle things.
Yeah, those like felt things.
Yeah,
that's Paul Heyman. That's Paul Heyman. He's under he's that felt part that you just.
Are you saying he's keeping them moving?
Yes,
in a very clean manner.
Yes, he's keeping
squeak.
He's keeping them on track.
You don't want no squeak.
Oh, he's keeping Roman on track.
Yeah. He's keeping the head of the table, which is Roman, and then Paul Heyman is the sliders that you put on the legs, which are Jimmy and Jay, and then Solo, and then at one point it was Sammy. But yeah, Paul Heyman's those sliders.
But Neal, who are the cushions on the chairs? That's a very important part that nobody thinks about because you want to be comfortable while you're eating.
You need to be comfortable while you're eating.
So who would the cushions be?
That's a good question.
What was that? I saw something. But
I was gonna say something else, but I was like, no, I probably shouldn't say that because it'd probably be offensive. And I was like, nah, let me not say that because I don't want to offend anybody.
You can always edit it out.
But I feel like I need to say it just to get off my chest because if I don't say stuff and I hold it in, I feel like I'm gonna get chest pains and may have a heart attack.
It's gonna feel like a cold. You don't want that.
Yeah, it's like it builds up like right here in this area.
It's a respiratory infection right
there.
I
know. It's like I don't want to say it, but I feel like I need to.
Upper respiratory bronchitis.
No, but I'm not gonna say it.
You don't want bronchitis, man. I've had bronchitis before.
Shut the fuck up. So you wasted our time telling us you were gonna say something that you decided not to say.
Yep, right. I did.
Man, fuck you.
Why do I look so big compared to you? Are you saying more back than me?
I mean, I have a better posture than you if you want to go there, but
no, actually, no, you do, Smoke. You do.
I have a better posture than you. You can tell who the gentleman is and who the
Jeff kind of slouches.
I'm a little bit of a sloucher. It's my principal.
Right. So. Yeah, you won't raise right.
Jeff,
you're just hanging on
the. All right. So,
hey Jeff, what are you doing with your hair? What are you doing? Something different with that? What is that? What's going on there?
No, I had a hat on today, and it's just all fucked up. There's no helping it at all. I've been trying to fuck with it this whole time.
So you kind of got like a medium thing going. It's not really cut, but it's not long. I don't know what you're trying to do with it.
It's in between right now.
Yeah, it's that in between where you need a haircut.
Yeah, it's supposed to be more fluffy in the top. Everything's really fucked up right now.
Why don't you color it like you've been saying?
Well,
for 2 fucking years, you've been on coloring your hair and you haven't done it yet.
You know what he gonna do?
I want to do that space.
You know what he gonna do? He gonna send us a text saying, you guys, I've been thinking about dyeing my hair, like he did the last 3 times.
Yeah.
Right now that you say it, it's more noticeable that it's all fucked up.
You have the white boy who dates a black girl haircut.
Let's talk about Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar. All right, so the predictable thing on Monday Night Raw was like Cody's like, yeah, I'm gonna go for the World Heavyweight Championship. Bullshit, right?
Mine's so much bigger.
I don't know why you look bigger. It's just the camera.
No, like it was.
Your head looks like way fucking like gigantic.
It looks huge. I look like I'm like way zoomed in than he is, and we're
He
sitting
looks
right
like he's
next
like
to-
10 feet back. Like,
yeah,
how's
dude.
that
He's
possible?
not like I'm looking right at him.
It's weird.
I mean, take that up with the scale, not me.
I don't know. It's weird.
And see, now you look like we're in the same area.
Now,
So
okay,
all the way
now,
back here?
yeah, now you look even.
What we've got here today, we've got a watermelon lemonade candle. Smells like watermelon lemonade.
not just watermelon lemonade.
Be careful, it's gonna be hot.
Oh, shit. Oh, damn.
Why'd you bark at me?
Well, because I got a sore right here.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
You don't.
Oh,
that's
you
not-
got a boo boo.
I don't know. Blue raspberry snow cone. This one, it all smells like chapstick, basically. But you know, we're vibing out right now. This is the Vibing Out Network. You're gonna grab the top again, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
It's very uncandle-like of you.
I know, right?
There you go, Neal. Where's your candle? Where's your leather cigarette?
Yeah, I don't have
Paperwork
one.
and ink.
We're gonna talk about Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar, part 2.
All right.
All right. So on Monday Night Raw, Cody Rhodes had his chance at the World Heavyweight Championship. Obviously, everybody's like, bullshit. Brock Lesnar comes down after that match that they had at Backlash. Brock Lesnar gets busted open. He attacks Cody Rhodes, and he's bleeding all over the place. And apparently, read this from various sources, Brock Lesnar has different rules when it comes to seeing color. Now, how did this come about?
He has different rules when it comes to what?
Bleeding in the ring.
Okay.
Now, whether that's true or not, I'm inclined to believe it, because who's booking Brock Lesnar is Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon has the final say-so on what Brock Lesnar does. And if Brock Lesnar, this is like his 5th pay-per-view in a row, PLE in a row. So obviously he's happy with the way things are going with him in his career, or else he wouldn't, after WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar would be like, let me do my 4-minute match and I'm going to go on and just disappear. But the fact that he has the carte blanche to do color in his matches, it is what it is. He was bleeding like a fucking gut pig at Backlash in that Cody Rhodes match, which was not that great, by the way. And now we have Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar.
You know who Brock Lesnar looked like?
Who?
You know who Brock Lesnar? I just thought about it. Brock Lesnar looked like that. Y'all ever seen the movie Small Soldiers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, Neal, he's saying he looks like this guy.
No.
I see it.
He do look like him.
I see what you mean.
You got to pull up a better picture, but he looked like him.
This was such a good movie back in the day, 98.
I don't know. It's hard to tell, man. I don't know. Maybe.
All right.
They got the same build and shit.
They had the same no neck.
No neck looking.
Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar too. Brock Lesnar said he wanted to fight. He's like, I want to fight. I want to fight. What are we going to talk about? We want to talk about me. We want to talk about me. We want to talk about me. Now, obviously, Brock Lesnar is super pissed. I like this Brock Lesnar more, not this country bumpkin coming out in his duster, all super happy and smiling. I don't like that shit, man.
It was a nice little change. I feel like he needed
a nice change. I hate that shit. I don't even like Brock. Listen, I'll go on record right now. I do not like Brock Lesnar personally. I don't like him in the ring. I don't like anything about him. Nothing. Zero, zip, zitch, not a
But
zip,
I felt like this was a nice change because he's never had a real. I mean, he's not really what you call a gimmick wrestler. But I feel like this was something different than what he was used to doing, and it was nice to see a little bit of a switch up.
A happy-go-lucky Brock Lesnar.
I'm talking about the whole farmer thing.
He turned, so he's heel again because of the whole Rhodes thing, right?
Yeah.
That's when he turned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think face Brock Lesnar is way more entertaining. We've seen heel Brock Lesnar for what, 2 decades?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was getting old.
I like the face Lesnar.
I don't think Brock Lesnar's
a little bit.
I don't think Brock Lesnar is a funny guy. He's never said one thing that I thought was funny ever. Not one thing.
I think him in Truth, that was pretty funny. Remember that?
Kind of.
When R-Truth came out and was like, he's gonna be the I-95.
I mean, it was
South,
like, yeah, I'm gonna be champ. Okay, Brock Lesnar's not funny. He's okay. So this is
He
Brock
has funny
Lesnar.
moments.
No, Brock Lesnar will tell a joke and he starts laughing, and you're there, you're like, oh, I need to laugh too because Brock Lesnar's laughing. Meh. You're
Yeah,
like,
I
oh,
don't want to. I don't want to
because
get
you're
bullied, so I
300
gotta.
pounds, you're 6'4", and if I don't laugh with you, you're
Yeah,
gonna get offended by it. Fuck you, man.
That's never been
Whatever.
my
You're
type
not
of
you're not a funny guy
speaking.
if you got to bully people to think that you're funny. He's not a funny guy. He's never said one thing funny ever, and I don't find him entertaining. And this whole situation with Cody Rhodes, it's a huge fucking waste of time for me. I don't
I
like
think it's a
anything
waste.
about it.
I think it's a waste of time too. I feel like they're just putting Brock with random people now at this point, just to say he went against them. And I just don't think that it's necessary. I think
Yeah.
that I don't know if they're stalling for Cody Rhodes or doing or what else they might have planned for him, but to me it just doesn't sit well with me at all.
This is his journey,
Yeah.
Smoke. This is Cody Rhodes' journey,
Well,
his
that's what I was telling
way
you
back
about
to
the people who
to
were
the
so
title.
upset. I was telling you guys that about the people who were so upset that he didn't win. We didn't see a journey. We did not see a journey to that championship. So it was like, why are we supposed to give you this championship if we didn't even see you fight for it?
I can understand that point, but I can understand too, you don't have to face one guy one time and then lose to him and face him again, then beat him. That's not
Yeah.
logical.
Yeah.
You can face him one time and beat him. You don't have to go on this climbing a Mount Everest and all this other kind of shit. I mean, you could bring up case after case after case. When Batista won the Rumble and faced Triple H at WrestleMania the first time, he beat him. Then guess what? He beat him again. And guess what? He beat him again. Triple H's career is fine. He's a Hall of Famer. He's all-time great. Ultimate Warrior. He faced Hogan WrestleMania 6. Did he have to lose to Hogan once and then come back and go face Rick Rude 1,000 times and then come back and beat Hogan again? No, he didn't.
a lot of repeats nowadays. Yeah,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that was the moment. Like, what happened to making moments not only for the sake of moments, but because that's the whole point of WrestleMania. I think we're missing out on Kofi Mania, Bryan Danielson, Ultimate Warrior, Stone Cold Steve Austin, did Shawn Michaels had to lose the Iron Man match only to face Bret Hart later? No.
right,
No.
right.
He didn't. It would have made sense then. It wouldn't make sense now. And same thing with Cody Rhodes. It would have been better if he beat him at WrestleMania, but we're getting off topic because we keep going back to that point. And the fact that we keep going back to that moment is saying something about how Cody Rhodes is going in the wrong direction for me personally. Now, do you think, going back to my point, Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar, Night of Champions, it's going to be a fight, but what kind of match do you see this actually being? Because a fight is too general. What do you think? I personally think it's going to be a last man standing match. What do you guys think?
I can see a last man standing match being the case for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think there, Dean?
I'm fine with whatever. I'm not even picky anymore, to be honest, bro. Like I'm so lost in this whole Lesnar Rhodes, even the world heavyweight title scene. I'm lost in a lot of these things. That Wednesday I'll be talking about Triple H's problems with the WWE, and I'm gonna go pretty in depth and talk about why he just can't change it, why he's not going to change it, why it's always going to be the same thing all the time. I'm gonna go more in depth on Wednesday, but yeah, I mean Triple H, I don't want to go on a rant. I'm just gonna say Triple H can't really change the WWE. It's always gonna be kind of how Vince made it, and we're just gonna see rematch after rematch, story after story that kind of is like not much difference. You know what I'm saying? Just like slight difference and shit.
Get there.
Yeah.
So Bianca had her Raw celebration. Now, I feel like we're going back to where we started before WrestleMania with Asuka and Bianca Belair. Now, Bianca Belair
They're
comes
actually
out.
getting the build up.
By the way, Bianca is still the Raw Women's Champion.
And on SmackDown.
Can anybody make sense of that? Can anybody make sense of that?
I'm
you have the
confused.
Raw Women's Champion on SmackDown, and they haven't switched the titles yet. Why the fuck not?
I'm confused at what it is they have planned or what they're trying to do, but it's a reason they haven't switched it over yet. I don't know if anyone is probably thinking that deep into it, it's a reason why they haven't switched it over yet, because for some reason, in my opinion, I truly do believe they're trying to build some Bianca and Rhea feud. I don't know when it's gonna start or how it's gonna work, but it's like they keep dropping seeds for it.
In what way? Give me an
I'm
example.
saying like, okay, so before WrestleMania, it was even though she had chosen Charlotte as her opponent, there were several, declarations of getting back to Bianca as soon as she can, regardless of Charlotte being her opponent. After WrestleMania, it was the same thing. Like don't get too comfortable because I'm still gonna come after you, and it just keeps getting dropped. I feel like, and I feel like they're hinting towards something. I don't know if it's like a summer, like they're leading up to like maybe the next Survivor Series, not as champs, maybe. I don't know. A lot of things can change up until then, but it's just like for some reason I feel like a Rhea and Bianca feud is brewing. I mean,
I
I feel
don't
like they're
agree.
trying. I feel like they're planning like a moment or something between them when it comes to this title exchange.
Survivor Series.
Yeah,
It would be Survivor Series because champs and champs face at Survivor Series. But I want to talk about specifically what happened on SmackDown. Asuka comes out. She clearly has this mist in her mouth. She doesn't open her mouth. She's not smiling or doing anything like that. She walks down to the ring. Bianca's there celebrating. Asuka sticks her hand out to congratulate her. I'm thinking, Bianca, you are so dumb. And she gets sprayed in the face. And her reaction was priceless. She was flopping all over the ring like a fish, and she was like screaming in pain. And then Asuka tweets out later, I put like some kind of pepper in the mist, in the spray. But
yeah.
wouldn't that suggest that you had that in your mouth the whole time? Wouldn't
Mhm.
that hurt
Mhm.
you?
So what is it, like pepper spray, but out of the mouth?
Yeah, to me that
Uh,
didn't make much sense because I think they had to justify Bianca's reaction.
but she didn't specify which kind of pepper. I mean, we need to know the
It,
level of intensity,
it was
you know?
hot.
Well, she needs to do better with her peppers, you know?
Yeah.
That's a key detail. It could
You
be a
should
bell
ask
pepper,
Asuka,
for
what kind
fuck's
of pepper
sake.
was it? Was it
If it's a bell
habanero?
pepper, it ain't
Was
even
it
spicy,
a
you know?
ghost? Was it ghost pepper?
See if it was a ghost.
Could have
The
been ghost
the
pepper.
the what is it? The Scoville units,
Yeah,
right? But if it's a green bell pepper, zero. You know what I'm saying? It could
nothing,
be a bell.
nada.
We don't know that. We don't know that.
I think maybe she might reveal that later. She just said it was a pepper that
Yeah, maybe.
that got Bianca's reaction to make it seems like her eyes were burning and like her face was melting off.
Yeah.
Now, we had how
She
many
should just
months?
put acid in her mouth, you know?
Yeah, we had so many months of buildup between Asuka
Sorry.
and Bianca, and now we're
Overjudged.
back to where we got before, and I hate that, man. I hate that. We're just back to it seems like we're starting over again. After isn't it supposed to be after WrestleMania?
It's a wrap.
It's supposed to be fresh new feuds and fresh new storylines. And now we're just back to Asuka and Bianca again, just on a different show. They were on Raw. They tried it for 2 months. It didn't work. Bianca had a really good match with Io Sky, and I feel like Io Sky needs to be inserted in this somehow, some way. And it's I don't want to see Bianca and Asuka again. I love
I feel
them
like it
both
needs.
to
I feel
death,
like it needs.
but I
I feel
do
like it
not
needs
want to
to
see
be a
them
triple
wrestle again. I
threat.
just don't.
If
There's
you,
nobody left for
I feel
Bianca.
like it needs to be a triple threat. It needs to be Io versus Asuka versus Bianca, and I feel like they need to really put on a match of a lifetime and really just go for it. And then, like you said before on the phone earlier, Bianca probably isn't losing that title until SummerSlam. So yeah, I just think that a non-title match between the three of them would be quite interesting to see.
Did you say non-title?
I think you did.
I
Yeah, I
did.
think you said non-title.
You
I
fucked
don't think
up.
that would. You
I
fucked up.
did.
You fucked up. You fucked
Yeah,
up.
I did a little bit.
Got to call him out
Botchamania
on
right
it.
there, man.
I
Yeah.
meant like because
No,
I
you meant title match.
yeah, title match.
Title match. You want to see a title match between all three of them? Of course you do.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to see it? And I feel like Io was right there. Now her riff with Bailey. It's more between Io and Bailey now. So on SmackDown we had Bailey, Dakota Kai versus the tag team of Liv and Raquel Rodriguez. obviously Liv and Raquel ended up retaining, and now we have a Bailey Io kind of feud. They're trying to sort of help each other in these matches. Now it's backfiring. Obviously, the riff is going to be between Io and Bailey, and I think eventually Io is going to be like, "Fuck it all, I'm done with you guys." Maybe some more Bailey, not Dakota Kai. She doesn't have beef with her in any regard. They haven't suggested any kind of beef, and I think Dakota Kai is going to be kind of like stuck in the middle. But Io Sky is going to be he's going to break away, and she needs to flourish. She needs to get away from Damage Control because they are holding her back. And I think Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Asuka at Night of Champions would be pretty good.
Oh shit! All right, go ahead.
There's something else that's been bugging me. So, guess who made an appearance on Monday Night Raw again?
Uh-oh.
Trish Stratus.
Not Trish. I love Trish. I love
Oh,
Trish.
okay, who you got?
Dana Brooke.
You didn't like the match she had?
The match that Dana Brooke had
any more of those ahead
with Rhea Ripley was a minute 42. A minute 42 squash match. Now, Smoke, what happened when Dana Brooke came out in her entrance? Did she try to high-five a kid in the crowd? Did she try to high-five a kid in the crowd and the kid was like, "Who the fuck are you again?"
Let me just say,
what happened with that? What happened with this? We got to really talk in depth because Dana Brooke, and not only on top of that, did she try to come out and high-five a kid that she got shunned, by the way. He was like, his arms were like clutched to the side. Like, I don't know you, lady.
He even laughed in her face.
She cuts a promo saying, "You're going to see what all this untapped potential can do." 9 fucking years, Dana. 9 years of untapped potential. And you're telling me this match, this day, is going to be different. Why? Because a couple people say, give Dana Brooke a chance on Twitter. Is that going to get the momentum shift? Are we going to see a Kofi Mania? Are we going to see a Bryan Danielson against the Authority kind of moment? Are literally fans going to uphold you and lift you up into a pedestal and make you somewhat relevant?
Yeah.
Because hashtag give Dana Brooke a chance. A match was a minute 42 against Rhea Ripley. And I got to say right now, you had all these opportunities on Monday Night Raw. You troll out Dana Brooke. You troll out Natalya. And speaking of Natalya, what are you going to do against Rhea? Let's be honest. You ain't going to do jack shit. You're a sharpshooter. You start screaming when you try to put it on her. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do, Natalya? Rhea's almost entering Roman level status now. She's untouchable.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Not even in your prime years, Natty, you can even touch Rhea. As great as Natalya is, Rhea is, when her career is done, it'll be better than you. I'm sorry to say that. Rhea's better than her now than her Natty's entire career. Let's be honest. Now, Natty might be more influential with other people and other superstars and other women in the locker room, but right now, Rhea Ripley is better than you were ever in the ring.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
You said Dana Brooke's on her 10-year, right? 10-year degree. Did I say degree?
It's close. It's close.
Damn, I promise I'm not fucked up right now. Mm-hmm. 10-year in the company. Why was I going to say degree?
It's been a long time.
But imagine, right? Just imagine China. Okay, Hall of Famer, right? Isn't she in the Hall of Fame though?
Not individually, but yeah, group is DX.
Okay, well, imagine she's basically
Hall of Fame. She should be.
Hall of Fame career. She was in WWE. I think she started in 97, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like her lasting until 2007 in the WWE. Crazy. She only was there till like what, 01? Right?
No, she was there in 02.
01, 02, right?
Yeah.
But a couple years, right? I'm just saying, people are there for a few years and have these potential Hall of Fame careers ahead of them. Dana Brooke has had 10 years of trying to just find herself. And that's when I lose my patience because I'm like, yeah, sure, Dana Brooke, she seems good. She seems like a good person. We should give her a chance. You're right. And then I'm like, holy shit, 10 years. People have Hall of Fame careers in 5 years, half that. So I'm not trying to hate on her. I'm just saying you gotta self-reflect, right? You gotta just
No, without a
really
doubt.
think about it, you know?
Yeah. If you're in the game, Smoke, for 10 years, coming on 10 years, I think she got signed in 2013. I'm not even gonna waste the energy looking it up. Who gives a shit, right?
We've
So
seen
she
people
got
retire since then.
yeah, so
They do that.
she got signed a long fucking time ago. That's the whole point. And to now be like untapped potential. Is she a good person? Probably. Is she nice? Hey, my hoodie says be nice.
There you
Is she
go.
gonna be high
Positive.
fiving and is she gonna be high fiving and glad handing all the NXT call ups? Probably. Is she gonna be like, hey, I got some advice for you. Come here. If I'm going for advice, I'm not going to Dana Brooke because you had a decade to get over and you couldn't do it. Doesn't mean she's not a good person. And I'm not gonna pay my respects and be like, hey, I'm Neal Pretty Boy Thomas. Nice to meet you, Dana. And when I'm like, that's the end of the conversation. That's it. Doesn't mean she's a bad person. Doesn't mean she's not good in any sort of way. I'm sure she's great all around. But when it comes specifically to her career, and you had this long, there has been a host of other females and women come along and get over quicker. Why no? She doesn't have a personality. She's dry as hell. She's unlikable. And for a blonde female wrestler to be unlikable, you almost got to try hard. You got to try hard not to be liked.
Yeah.
Now, is there a pocket of fans are like, yeah, Dana Brooke, come on, Triple H, come on, whomever's in charge, just give her a chance and stop booking her to shit. Maybe one day she'll turn around. Maybe one day. What is she, like 34 now? Maybe one day it'll come around and she'll get her chance and get her opportunity. And maybe she'll get that Intercontinental title that she was pining for when she was the 24/7 champion. Oh, please, make me the champion. That didn't happen. Obviously, because they don't see anything to make it happen for her.
I think I'm just mad that something wasn't working, and I don't really think she had a huge character change in the past 10 years. She's still the same. She has like just meh gear. She comes out, flexes, and that's also why I'm worried about Raquel, man. She comes out, she flexes her lats, and then that's it. You know what I'm saying? It's not good.
You could be a good wrestler. You have to have that. But to be a superstar in WWE, you can't just be a good wrestler. You have to have good wrestling ability, good technical skills. You have to have the basics down pat, but then you have to have personality and charisma. Raquel does not have that. She is the most boring person I think I've ever seen in a wrestling ring.
Is she solid? Yeah, but that's not going to make you.
Yeah, she's good, but her personality is like the fucking wall, man. It's just like
it's good for the indies, but WWE should be like the top level competitors, man. It's not just good.
It's a shame too because she's big, she's strong, and you're like, man, if you looked at her, you're like, there's a champion right off the bat. Yeah. But then when you hear her talk or never say anything remotely interesting or provocative or anything like that, that's it, man. She's done. And to pair up with Liv Morgan, try to get some Liv Morgan rub, it's just not working. If they lose the tag team titles, I don't really give a shit. But that's it. I mean, it is what it is. I think Raquel, I don't think there's any fixing her. Do I like her in ring wise? Yes, but her personality and character is a 0 out of 10. And it's a shame. It's a shame.
It seems like that's happening to a lot of NXT talent coming up. Maybe there is something to say about people who are only performance center athletes. I'll call them. They've never done indies. They've never traveled. They don't have like different flavors to them. You know what I'm saying? They haven't gone around. So where when they get to the main roster, they're dull, right? They don't have much to them.
Yeah.
I think there is something to say about that. That I think traveling, you definitely have to do that.
There is. I feel like if you go up through the WWE grapevine and you go up through your college athlete, you get selected, you go through the WWE Performance Center, you don't have time to grow as a person because you got to think, though, too, these kids are like 19, 20, 21, and you're still trying to find yourself and all that kind of stuff. And you need to go to travel. You need to wrestle in that fucking bingo hall. You need to go to wrestle X, Y, and Z. You need
I've
to
been to
go
bingo halls.
you need to wrestle far out. You need to sleep in your car one night. You need to do all that stuff. And that makes you tough. That makes you hard. That makes you hardened. That makes you find who you are and develop that character that people are going to latch onto. And I think when it comes to now, granted, there's exceptions. John Cena did it, Randy Orton did it, Brock Lesnar did it. They came up through that way. But those are very rare
Exceptions.
exceptions to the rule. But I don't think out of 1,000 people that try out for the WWE, not even a baker's dozen probably get selected. And then out of that one, how many are actually going to succeed? It's really tough. So working your way up through the independents, it only helps you. It doesn't hurt you. It can't hurt you. It's like playing college ball maybe for a year. It's going to help you grow because you're still trying to establish who you are as a person and help you grow. And then when you do find, I mean, guys who grew up through the indies, Kevin Owens, obviously pretty good for himself. Bryan Danielson grew up through the indies. CM Punk, Samoa Joe, Claudio, Eddie Kingston. Think about all their personalities compared to some other personalities. They grew up in the indies. They were in the indies for like 5-10 years before they got their fucking break. And it only made them better because it has a hardened, you get hardened by that, all that road work and all that kind of stuff. And you appreciate when you get to the, the quote unquote big time, a WWE and AEW. It only makes you better. It only makes you better. And it's only good. It's only good for your career because you never, I think sometimes their work ethic is a little harder too because they work like they're starving. They're working like they're trying to get that $20 for that match, that $50 for that match. And when they get that big contract, it seems like they don't settle. They're still working. They're still grinding because it's already in them. You can't take 10 years away, 15 years away on the independence just like that. It doesn't go away. It's still there. Just because you signed the multi-million-dollar deal, it's still going to be in there because it's ingrained in you now. You can't get away from that. And I feel like sometimes independent wrestlers, when they finally do they get their break, they don't get enough credit like they deserve. But yeah.
No, I think I've learned just to wrap up that point. I think I've learned more wrestling these small ass venues than I've had anywhere else. I mean, for example, after doing an event in a bingo hall, a literal bingo hall, right? To where you could touch the ceiling outside of the ring. Okay.
B9. B9.
We literally, when we went to put the ring to the bingo hall, we had to take the fact that we were moving the bingo tables out of the fucking place and putting the ring in and doing all this shit. And then after the whole event went down, where it wasn't just wrestling match, like people were jumping outside of the ring, landing on the steel chairs that people were sitting on. Like, I think the indies, there's something about it to where you're just working your ass off. And you know what happened after that event? I went to stay at this local hotel, right? And you know what they told me? They said, "Oh, you're not 21. Sorry, we can't give it to you." And I had to sleep in my car. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some shit to say about the indies, but you definitely learn a lot, and you meet a lot of like people who met 50 other people. You know what I'm saying? And then you just like this. It's like a knowledge, like a snowball effect of like knowledge. I think NXT should somehow, because I know they do house shows, but they need to do some sort of like indie bookings for NXT stars. I feel like that would really help if they could cut a deal somehow with that. If that is at all possible, I think that would be great. Like, do you know how the network had what indie was it? Progress? No, not Progress. It was some.
I think it was it Progress? I know what you're talking about. It was on the network, but I can't think of the name right now.
Like, I wish they, could have had some NXT talent go down to there back and forth and just get a taste of it. Talk to these people, learn from these people, really kind of get that indie rub, and then they'll come back to NXT probably better. you know, and then when they move up to the main roster, they'll be well-rounded, and they're not going to be some fucking boring statue that most of these people are, you know?
Yeah. No, without
So
a doubt.
you got to think about it. Once everyone's gone that we grew up watching, and once, you know, even not even grew up, but the Rollins and all those kind of guys, once they're gone too, all we're going to be stuck with are these fucking statues. And then nobody's going to watch anymore. It's going to be boring as hell.
I
You
think
got your couple like Carmelo Hayes and stuff that sticks out, but yeah, I don't know, man. The future is kind of.
I think the personalities of how it was in the 80s and the 90s, and it's getting to the 2000s, and now are slowly going down and down and down. You don't get these larger than life personalities in professional wrestling anymore. You're not going to get your Hogans, you're not going to get your Machos, you're not going to get your Flairs anymore.
No.
You're not going to get any of that. But to go back what Dean was saying is the indies is extremely important for your growth and development, not only physically, but more importantly, mentally. And I think that's where it's lost in these WWE call-ups. They don't do that stuff. Now, Ring of Honor is a little different. Now, with Warner Brothers going to give AEW a big fucking payday. They nixed AEW Dark and Dark Elevation. That's not going to be around anymore. So I think when it comes to Rampage and Ring of Honor, you're going to get those indie talents coming up, and they're going to get that Ring of Honor spot. They're going to get that Rampage spot, because I think a lot of people are making the comparisons to AEW Rampage being kind of like a Sunday Night Heat, where you're going to see, I mean, shit, wasn't back in the day like AJ Styles made an appearance on Sunday Night Heat one time or something like that? You might get these these diamonds in the rough kind of come ups, and like when it comes to AEW. And I think that's important too, because you never know who you're going to find and come across. As Ring of Honor is incredibly important. And that's why I like Tony Khan and the way he's running the business, because you have your main show, you have your Dynamite, you have your big stars, you have your main storylines, but he is giving opportunities to people that are grinding and working four nights, 5 nights, 6 nights in a row in all these different cities to Ring of Honor, and they're going to go on Rampage and all that kind of stuff. And that's when I can appreciate Tony Khan in that regard, because he gives opportunities to a million different wrestlers, and that's actually really good. And that's what I like about him too, because it can't always be about the big stars and the main storylines. It's got to be about the guys working their way up and giving them some TV time. Talk about AEW. I did want to talk about a little bit about the Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley steel cage match on AEW Dynamite. Now, obviously, it's the Elite versus BCC, the Blackpool Combat Club. The Elite, they got their own problems now with Don Callis, who's if anybody saw that match, you knew that shit was going to happen with Don Callis. Ended up turning on Kenny Omega with the fucking screwdriver or whatever that was, and nailed him in the fucking head. And Moxley ends up getting the win. I got to say, that was one of the best cage matches I've ever seen. It was brutal. It was bloody. There was fucking broken glass in the ring. Jon Moxley took like 10 minutes to unscrew the top turnbuckle and then put that hook in Kenny Omega's mouth. Go figure, right? Never seen that before. Now that's some, like we were just talking about indies, that's some real independent, I got to make my name for myself kind of stuff. That's some hardcore shit you're not going to see on a day-to-day basis, and it's tremendous to see. Now, matches like that are the reason why I love professional wrestling. It's not your world title tournaments in WWE. It's not your Dana Brooks. I'm sorry. It's not your Usos feuding with Sammy and KO, as great as that. It's not Roman Reigns wrestling 4 matches a year now. It's Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega in a steel cage, simplified violence. That's the reason why I like professional wrestling. It was beautiful. It was tremendous. It couldn't have gone more perfect. And it's the best storyline going for my money right now. The Elite versus the BCC. Like Jon Moxley said, it's the pinnacle of professional wrestling. And I got to say, it's tremendous. And I loved every second of it. I'm pissed that Mox won. I'm happy that the storyline is going to continue. Hopefully we get something at Blood and Guts. But to me, that tugs on my heartstrings. That's what makes me a fan of professional wrestling. And I got to say right now, Kenny Omega is probably the wrestler of the year. He's had fantastic matches with Vikingo. Will Ospreay, now Mox. You're talking about 3 of the top probably 5 matches of the year. That's just what else more can you say about Kenny Omega? The Young Bucks, they're going to get back on track, and I think we're going to have blood and guts match between all of them. Takeshita, I'm pretty certain he's going to turn on the Elite, and he's going to go with the BCC, and we're going to see how that goes. But, yeah, that cage match was fan-fucking-tastic. By the way, Kenny Omega scared the shit out of me, too, when he V-triggered Mox through the steel cage. It looked like he almost fucking broke his leg between the steel cage and the ring.
Yeah.
That's some scary shit, man. I'm thinking, holy cow, that could have went extremely bad, but it didn't.
He would have been out for another year.
He would have been out for another year, and we would have to start the Kenny Omega saga all over again. But, yeah, that match was fantastic. AEW Dynamite is kind of gelling on all cylinders, but that match it lived up to the hype. For me, it probably got 4.5 stars. Didn't quite up to the ending was kind of fucked up. That's why I wouldn't give it a 5, but that match was tremendous, and I loved every second of it. I got to say, Mox, Kenny Omega, CM Punk, they're my type of wrestlers. They bring a sense of realism, a sense of violence. Kenny Omega brings that athleticism to him, but he can get dark, and he can get very physical and violent himself, too, even though that's really not his style. Mox in a steel cage, I mean, shit, man, that's like his home. That's what he loves doing. I didn't talk about Backlash and Bad Bunny, my boy, my new personal favorite wrestler. I know you guys probably don't agree with me on this, or maybe not to the extent what I'm trying to emphasize here. But Bad Bunny, 5 years ago, I'd have been like, "Are you fucking kidding me? This guy's a joke. He's a clown. He's a pop star for Puerto Ricans, right?" And I'm like, "Nah, he ain't gonna make no wrestler." How my opinion has changed about this guy. Not only was I a fan with him, what was it, a couple years ago when he had that tag match, I was more of a fan of his performance at Backlash than anything else. I was more impressed with his performance than anything else on the card that night. His entrance when he came out was, I think it trumped any WrestleMania entrance this year. I think it was more electric. You had pretty much all the people singing his song when he came out. It was a fucking concert that broke out.
It gave you the chills, right?
It gave me the chills. It gave me the chills, and that doesn't happen in wrestling. I've seen too many matches. I've seen too many WrestleManias. I've seen too many pay-per-views. I've seen too many Raw, SmackDowns, Dynamites. There's very rare circumstances where this shit happens this way, and it did. The place was electric. Shit, that the electricity in that building could have powered Puerto Rico at that time. It was that great. And you don't get that as a professional wrestler, as a performer, you only hope to get a sliver of that kind of reaction and that kind of acceptance by the crowd. You might get that one chance in your life, and the perfect storm, the perfect homecoming or a WrestleMania, or you're coming back for a title shot in your hometown. You rarely ever get those moments. And Bad Bunny had one, and he knocked it out the park. The match itself with Damian Priest was actually really good. It was excellent. Bad Bunny ended up winning the match. Damian Priest, like everybody was saying online, give him his flowers. He's a main event star right now. But that Bad Bunny entrance and the way he came out, for me, trumped anything that happened at WrestleMania. I don't really like comparing AEW and WWE all that much, which is better, which isn't. But to me, when it comes to a big match fight feel, he encompassed that and he encapsulated that in that one moment. And now they're saying that Puerto Rico might get Backlash every year. That's remained to be seen. But last year I was in Puerto Rico. I knew that crowd was going to be that way because I know how these people party, and they take any kind of celebration and any kind of party atmosphere, and they, whatever it is, if it's a 5, they'll make it a 10. If it's a 2, they'll make it a 10. If it's an 8, they'll make it a 20. That's how they do it down there, man.
Well, you can view us, you can watch us, you can listen to us, you can do whatever the hell you want to us. Never mind. Pretend I didn't say that part. You can find me at 99 Walker on all of your social medias. We're at Pod Marking Out on Twitter. We're at Marking Out Pod on Instagram. You can follow Cordell at Cordell Pod. It'll be down below. Neal runs the Twitter, so if you want to contact him personally, he runs Twitter.
In post.
Yeah, I'll give you his Snapchat and shit.
You don't have to give anything. I won't respond.
Just scan the snap code. We'll make it work.
Yeah, no.
And we will see you guys in the next one.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Peace.